In the previous video, we learned how to use Excel formulae to generate descriptive statistics for single data. Now we ask the question, what if we want to calculate the descriptive statistics but split between certain profiles, for example gender? We want to calculate the mean for male and the mean for female, the median for male and the median for female. Well, in the first instance, we can use pivot table facilities to generate some of the statistics available on Excel. We do that by clicking on the database, somewhere anywhere in the database. We go Insert, Pivot Table again. That we know from previous videos. We choose to have our statistics on the existing worksheet, and we choose an empty cell such as this one. We click OK. We have our pivot table field list and our pivot table here. When we can grab the gender variable and put it in the row labels so that we have male and female in here. And then if we are dealing with age, the single data variable, the age, we'll put it in the sum of the values. Obviously, automatically Excel will give us the sum of the age, which we don't want. We want to calculate, for example, the average. So we double click on here. We just say mean. In the statistics here, we can see that there is an average here, and we click OK. So automatically Excel will give us the mean for male and the mean for female. If you want to calculate other statistics, we can drop the age again into the sum of the values box, double click on it, and then we can scroll in this list and see what's available. Now what we can see is we can count, we can calculate the mean, which is the average, we can calculate the maximum. So if we double click here and then we say maximum, that will give us the maximum age for each of the female and male. Can drop it again, the age variable, and then choose to calculate the minimum, and so on. Drop it again one more time, and if we try and see what else is available, we can see that we can calculate the standard deviation. But if we scroll down, we can see that we can calculate the variance. There isn't any mode and there isn't any median. So let's calculate the standard deviation. So here we go. We've calculated the mean, maximum, minimum and standard deviation using the pivot table facility. However, if we want to calculate the median, for example, we need to make use of a slightly complicated function. We'll do it here. So for example, for the mean, it's interesting to calculate the mean. The idea is to calculate the mean if the person is male and if the person is female. So we use the formula, a special formula called equal average if. There is an average if, and it tells us that the first thing we need to do is to give the range, and that is the gender. So we highlight the gender. Let's fix it because we're going to reproduce the same formula for female. So let's fix it. Comma, the criteria, which is between quotation mark male, comma, the average that we want to calculate. In this case, the average for the age. So we highlight the age. Let's fix it because we're going to reproduce the same formula for female. By pressing F4, we can fix the variables. And that will be it. Average if. B2 to B25 will be the gender variable. Male is the condition, which is the criteria here, and the range is the range for the data that we want to calculate the average or the mean for, which is in this case the age. So if you press enter, we've got the mean for the male. If you reproduce the same formula for female, let's copy and paste into the female, then double click on it and change the male into female. If we press enter, it will calculate for us the mean age for female. And if we check the values to the ones obtained using the pivot table, we can see that they are the same. So we can calculate the mean using either the pivot table or the formula average if. Now if you want to calculate the median, that's slightly different, because there isn't a equal median if. That formula doesn't exist. So what we have to do is to make use of the idea of the array formulae. And what we do is equal median, open the bracket, if, the if function, open the bracket again. And we introduce here the logical test. So we say if the gender is male, equal, between bracket, male, comma, if that is true, then calculate the median for me, the median for the age. And we close the bracket, and we close the bracket again. Now we can't press enter in this case, but because it's an array formula, we have to do Control Shift with our left hand and then press enter at the same time. Excel will introduce the curly bracket either side of the formula, and that will calculate for me the median. Let's go back to it again and see what's happening. It's median, it's equal median, open the bracket, if, open the bracket, B2 to B25 is my gender, which I'm going to fix because I'm going to reproduce the formula for female. If that gender is male between quotation, then calculate for me the median for this variable here, in this case the age, and I'm going to fix it. And then I close the two bracket because I've opened the two bracket. So if I want to calculate it again, let me remind you that I press Control Shift and then enter. That will introduce the curly bracket. Now if I copy and paste the formula into the female and I double click on it to change the male into female, go to the end and then Control Shift enter, of course, that will calculate the median for female. We can use this idea of equal the function between bracket if function for any statistics. So we can do it for the lowest quartile, and I'm going to end it here. So it's equal quartile if function, logical test, equal between quotation male. If that is correct, then calculate the lowest quartile for the age, close the bracket. Now we have to say comma, because we're looking for the lowest quartile, I press 1 here and then I close the bracket. So this is the formula for calculating the lowest quartile just for male. Of course, if I want to reproduce it for female, I need to fix the variables here. So this one needs to be fixed. So press F4, highlight and press F4, highlight and press F4, and don't forget to press Control Shift and then enter. If I want to reproduce it for female, I copy and paste, double click, change the male into female, female, go to the end of the formula, Control Shift enter, and that will calculate for me the lowest quartile for female. I can do that for the highest quartile, I can do that for the interquartile range, the variance, standard deviation, the coefficient of variation. I can do the whole lot. So we've learned how to use a pivot table and equal function with the if function in order to calculate descriptive statistics for single data split by various profile, in this case the gender profile. That will end our video